This Independence Day, Tata Tea Premium is once again blending tradition with innovation. Continuing with its Desh Ka Garv, Pradesh Ki Kala campaign, the brand brings regional pride front and center, celebrating India's diverse folk art like never before. This year's spotlight is also an AI-powered film that brings heritage art forms like Warli, Gond, Madhubani to life. Joining us today is Puneet, President Packaged Beverages at Tata Consumer Products, to talk more about this and how a cup of chai is becoming a canvas for India's cultural pride. He's also sharing key insights into how India is drinking tea today, from the rise of wellness teas and premium blends to the growing influence of formats like bubble and blue tea. As India's tea industry races towards a 21,000 crore rupees mark, how is Tata Tea keeping country's tea culture alive while nudging loose tea drinkers towards packaged revolution? Puneet, welcome to CNBC TV 18. It's always good to speak to you.
Thank you, Shivani. Likewise, always great to have conversations with you.
So, Puneet, this year's conversation, you are tapping into the diverse regional art styles like Warli, like Gond, like Madhubani, Kalighat. So tell us, how do you, imbibe authenticity and, cultural sensitivity while, working with various artisans and bringing all of these art forms alive into, your narrative and your campaign?
One of the things that we do is partner with the right organizations and people. Like, for example, in this Independence Day campaign, we have come up with this Desh Ki Garv collection, which are really hand-painted kettles. And the whole idea has been to promote regional art forms. We have partnered with the organization called Kaushalam, who work with these local artisans. We have basically got kettles to promote some 7 region-specific art forms, which are hand-painted, made by master artisans. And in a way, we want to promote these traditional art forms, which we are all very proud of, and and bring them to today's generation. And that's what we have been doing. So it's really about finding the right partners and also having the cause. So we not only want to promote this, but this campaign has a social impact also, with proceeds, 100% of the proceeds directed to train and empower women through Indian Army Skill Development Center. So all in all, it's really about taking forward and celebrating the rich legacy that is India.
What were some of the significant learnings in terms of, the design collaborations or the logistics for Desh Ka Garv that has shaped the campaign that it is today?
Right. So we actually started off about 3 years, 4 years back with hand-painted coolers. Then we moved on to hand-painted teacups and saucers, and this time it's the kettle. And the whole idea is that all these are associated with our category, the tea category, of course, but at the same time are celebrating the cultural, and the regional pride of each of the specific regions where our brand operates in. And I think our learning has always been is about starting early. Like, for example, even in this campaign, we started almost about 6 months back, and then, finding the right partners, ensuring that we are very authentic. So all of these kettles, they're not mass produced, they're hand painted, and then, of course, ensuring that you are accurately depicting and identifying the right art forms and bringing out this culture motives. So I think there are a lot of learnings, but the biggest joy that we see is people resonate quite deeply with it. And, in fact, when we launched this a few days back, within 4 hours, we sold off pretty much the entire inventory that we had initially planned. And then we had to really, ramp up, more and more of these.
Since you are here, Puneet, also share with us, how is India drinking tea today, and how are you keeping as like the brand custodian of Tata Tea? How are you keeping the tea drinking culture alive in the country?
Right. So tea is a very, very widely penetrated category as such, pretty much, I think, next to water in Indian households. So core of the tea, I think, remains, in everyday consumption occasions. But what we are seeing is a growing demand for premium, organic, wellness and functional teas. People are looking for health and wellness trend in their everyday beverage choices. a lot of younger consumers are opting in for ready to drink and convenience formats. So the whole thing is that while the bulk of the tea consumption remains what it is, we are seeing some movements of newer formats, newer convenience, and younger consumers coming in and participating in, and the other consumers choosing health and wellness as a platform. So this adds to the excitement of the category, gets increases the consumption base, increases the consumer base, and that's what keeps the category going.
And while India's tea industry is projected to be 21,000 crore, almost, the value of it is going to be that. The domestic consumption reaching a 1.45 billion kg in 2025. How do you see, penetration, of these newer categories like, the bubble tea that people are drinking, or even the blue tea, which is becoming like quite popular, at least around me in cafes in Mumbai I have seen it, um, impacting or altering the overall demand for tea?
See, emerging segments like bubble tea are witnessing notable urban adoption, and but a lot of it is among younger audiences. The category is projected to grow double-digit CAGR. However, I mean, at the mass tea, the regular everyday consumption tea is at a very strong base, very wide base. So these trends overall contribute to the overall tea consumption base. They're still small, but they're fast growing. There's a lot of room to sort of premiumize the market with this. Blue tea and other functional teas are building the presence driven by wellness trends. Like I said, consumers are looking for this. Food as a medicine is a big trend, food and beverage as a medicine. So they are looking for health and wellness choices in this.
Yeah, what I'm trying to ask is, in simple words, is drinking tea cool again? Because, the cool kids in the group were the ones who would be drinking coffee, is, what what we have seen over the past couple of years. But, with Gen Zs tapping into the bubble tea and, the blue tea, like, is it cool again?
Definitely, I think with the growth in RTD and some of these formats, you're clearly seeing tea becoming very top of mind in both on the go as well as in home consumption. And formats like these add to a lot of excitement. And you're right, like teas like boba tea, even matcha tea in health and wellness is and social. If you look at it, the kind of conversations that are happening on that format or on that particular variant is pretty big. So all of these add to the excitement of the category, and yes, it is making tea a lot more cooler. No pun intended.
Cooler, yeah, yeah. And how are they shaping your innovations at Tata Tea? Also, the fact that you mentioned functional teas such as green tea and your medicinal herb flavored tea and all of that, people are consuming that as well. So how is all of this shaping your innovation?
Yeah, so we are participating in a lot of these formats. For example, if you talk convenience, we've launched Tata Tea Gold Premix. That's we have seen really strong initial response to it. Consumers want the taste of tea in a very quick instant, so to speak. We have just launched Tetli Matcha tea. In the green tea, consumers are moving beyond the basic green tea benefit to more science-led benefit. So, for example, we have launched a care range in Tetley, slim care range and beauty care range, which was India's first green tea added with added L-carnitine, which is a science-based natural nutrient known to burn body fat. So all of these, I think, are in line with the trends that's happening. At the same time, we have offerings in RTD, etc., which are ensuring that we are also tapping into the on-the-go consumers, the new younger consumers. So all of this is shaping our innovation portfolio, and we have a great brand on Organic India, which also is part of Tata Consumer Products, and that's addressing the wellness segment with its authentic herb, based teas and infusions. I mean, Organic India started the Tulsi green tea revolution in India, and we have been building on that along with the infusions. In fact, we had signed on Sachin Tendulkar, who's a brand ambassador, and we've just released a campaign which says that choose the right organic products like Organic India tea and products. So all of this is ensuring that we are in sync with the trends that's happening or staying ahead of it.
Great. We spoke about how, the domestic consumption is going to increase to 1.45 billion kg in 2025. But India largely also consumes the loose tea. If you can also give us an idea, what is the loose tea consumption versus packaged tea consumption today, Puneet?
Yeah. So in India, food and beverage always, you will find the loose as loose to branded as one of the big upgrades or consumption, or the trends that you will find. So loose tea would be about 6,000 crores kind of stuff. So in volume, it would be say 40%, but in value, of course, branded would be much higher. So the conversions from branded from loose to branded remains a big growth opportunity, and I think the levers to grow is really about authenticity, trust. Ensuring you're telling consumers that the safety in food is a big need these days, and with the trust of Tata Tea. And with local regional nuances and variants, you are ensuring that it's an easier journey, and of course, providing access packs to consumers in branded format. All of this ensures that the loose to branded conversion, we are ensuring that we are participating in that.
And what are the strategies that you're employing to convert these loose tea drinkers to packets, especially in the semi-urban and the rural markets?
Yeah. So, for example, in one of the states of Telangana, which is again a very big loose tea belt, we have a brand called Gemini, which has been there. It's a market leader. It's a trusted brand, and over there we are sort of educating the consumers on loose tea. There's a lot of adulteration also. Sometimes that get picked up in the looser form, in loose formats. Health and safety, hygiene being. So we have done consumer education, which says that one needs to watch out for these kind of what do you do simple tests to ensure that your tea is not adulterated. And similarly in other markets also there are different tactics depending on which market you operate on. Now, for example, in West Bengal, loose tea is considered, because of the proximity to the tea gardens, is considered, it's at a premium also. So we have a brand called Tata Tea Gold, which is a number one branded tea over there. So there it's about riding on this insight of how consumers they're very they're connoisseurs of tea. So ensuring that you're providing the right blend and giving them that quality. So different tactics in different markets, but overall the basic premise is always about giving them the trust and saying that you're an authentic brand, and of course giving them the taste that they look for.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today and thanks for this conversation.
Hello and welcome, and today we start a special series as a part of Storyboard 18. Welcome to Decoding B2B Marketing That Means Business, a special series in partnership with LinkedIn. I'm Shibani Gharat, and today we are diving into one of the most pressing shifts in marketing world, the rise of AI. But this isn't a story about machines replacing marketers. It's about how AI is helping them think smarter, create bolder, and perform better. Episode 1 is all about finding that sweet spot where creativity meets control and data becomes the storyteller. Our today's guests for this conversation are Sachin Sharma, LinkedIn Marketing Solutions India, and Arun Pattabhiraman, Sprinkler. Today we explore how AI is changing the way B2B marketing works as AI tools become more common into the marketing playbook. The real opportunity lies in using them wisely to tell stronger stories, target the right audience, and get more from every campaign. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and let's straight dive into the conversation. Tell us, why is AI suddenly becoming so important? Why are B2B marketers, Sachin, leaning so much into AI?
So we all know this, but we are in the midst of a massive shift in computing with the advent and adoption of AI. And this is a massive change. This is truly an inflection point. comparable to probably the introduction of personal computers, mobile phones, internet, and the cloud. This is going to create a lot of opportunities for people to do very interesting, influential, and creative work. And so marketing is not to be left behind. Now, juxtapose with this with the environment that the marketers are operating in, and there are a lot of constraints and a lot of pressure to prove the return on marketing investments. Needless to say, they are not only building proficiency in AI, but they're also adopting AI in their day-to-day. So last year, we commissioned research where we spoke to about 2,000 plus B2B marketers across the globe. Guess what? 3 in 4 in India said they have already started using some form of generative AI tools or solutions in their day-to-day work. And so what this does is it accelerates content delivery for them. It helps them capture efficiencies and drives productivity improvement. So 90% of the marketers today believe this is going to significantly boost ROI for them. But I want to be very clear with the core message is that there has to be an authentic, trustworthy data layer coupled with human creativity, and then a layer of AI on top of that to truly unlock the impact of marketing.
Yeah, as a marketer, Arun, how are you unlocking AI? Whenever there is a new technology, like often marketers, come up and say, oh, AI ke saath kuch karte hai, metaverse ke saath kuch karte hai. So is it sort of a FOMO? Is there a pressure to have AI?
If you really think about it from a marketer's perspective, AI is no longer a novelty, it's a necessity. Because on one end of the spectrum, you have customers and buyers expecting hyper-personalized, always-on, effortless experiences, right? When brands are engaging with them. And that's just not possible without you leveraging AI. And then if you think about it from a marketer's perspective, AI has become a superpower, right? Because suddenly it's enabling them to unleash new levels of speed, creativity, and productivity. That means that the marketer can now focus their efforts on strategic thinking and campaign development. So that's another capability. And finally, if you think about it from a creativity standpoint, a lot of marketers are either left-brained or right-brained, right? So AI is becoming a co-pilot that can help complement them and fill in the gaps where they don't have. So if you are a really analytical, data-driven marketer, then AI can help you ideate campaigns at scale and very, very quickly. If you are a creative campaign, creative marketer, then AI can help you really test and iterate campaigns at scale. So suddenly with AI, you're able to drive quality and velocity both at the same time. So from my perspective, if you think about it, AI cannot be an afterthought. AI has to be natively embedded into the way you run and scale campaigns as a B2B marketer.
But how do you marry these two together, Sachin? They work in parallel, but can you bring them together with the use of AI, and how do you effectively do this?
Yeah, I think one of the unstated powers of AI is that it helps you bridge the gap between data and creativity. And I will give you an example. Today, for example, on LinkedIn as a platform, if you are an advertiser, you can actually identify your target audiences, launch a campaign, and then not worry about it all in a matter of 5 minutes. We'll pick up all of the signals, we will optimize it on the fly, we'll even tell you what kind of content makes the most sense and help you generate a few ad copies. We call it the accelerate campaigns.
One of the key concerns for brands these days in today's digital ecosystem is, of course, brand safety is a big concern. So how can brands ensure that, their messaging and their content is safe?
So totally agree with you. Where brands show up matters a lot. In fact, some of our own research at LinkedIn has proven multiple times the consumers both in the B2B and in the B2C environment have less preference for when brand content shows up with inappropriate content. Right? And in marketing and in UX design, we call this the proximity principle. You are actually associated with who you show up with. Platforms like ours, like LinkedIn, we take this very, very seriously. And we have 3 pillars that we've built to ensure that brand safety is front and center for when we try and work with our advertisers. So we have a set of policies, both community policies, advertising guidelines that we strictly adhere to. But on top of that, we have product options. So as a marketer, Arun, for example, today could choose where he wants to show up and what are some of their preferences in terms of brand placement. But to top it up, we have partnerships. So these are deep partnerships with some of the leading industry players, which help us validate traffic, which help us ensure that they're showing up in the right places, that there are no bots, no adverse traffic, and we are always only reporting what is accurate and truthful.
Yeah, let's ask Arun, what are your expectations from a platform like LinkedIn?
Trust and transparency have to be at the heart of how brands engage. And first, they deserve to know whom they are engaging with. The second thing is really, if you think about it, customers are leaving billions of breadcrumbs of personal information, personal intelligence, and things about what they like and what they dislike. Across all of these social and digital channels. So what you need is a platform that can actually manage consent at scale. So if you think about the Sprinkler platform, we have inbuilt governance and controls where we collect and process the consent information from customers across different social and digital channels at scale. We allow that cross-functional collaboration to be able to ensure that every brand shows up consistently, irrespective of the channel or irrespective of the location where they engage with the brand. So I think all that goes to say that even in a platform like LinkedIn, when we work with LinkedIn, we trust them because they're able to process consent at scale. They're able to help us engage with our customers in a brand safe and a compliant manner.
Yeah. One of the notable, trends that I have seen over the past couple of years is how the lines between B2B marketing and B2C marketing have blurred. Like, how do you look at this shift? And how is it happening on LinkedIn? Let's just first ask Sachin about this.
Absolutely. So when you think of B2B and B2C marketing, I think the end objective or the end goal is very much aligned. And one of the changes that we are seeing in B2B is a deeper appreciation that you're basically trying to reduce the risk or remove risk completely in a transaction. And how you do that is you build collective confidence. So while in the B2C scenario, you're probably an individual trying to make a purchase decision, in a B2B environment, it's what we call a buyer group, right? There is a collective set of people that are trying to come to a consensus. And a lot of times our research has found that finding that consensus is the most difficult part. So what are we trying to do through our customers, through our advertisers and our partners is to share more information, drive that collective consensus, which then reduces the risk of the transition, right? So,
Arun, over to you. How are you building more human stories in today's day and age?
At the heart of it, whether you're a B2B or a B2C brand, at the end of the day, you are marketing to human beings. And buyers are human beings and they respond to emotions, right? So if you are a marketer, whether you're a B2B or a B2C marketer, the first thing you have to be able to do is really be able to understand your customers better. And that's where I think platforms like LinkedIn, but also social listening platforms like Sprinkler can really help parse through petabytes of unstructured conversations that are happening on all of these social and digital channels and convert them into meaningful insights for brands to really be able to have the ability to personalize their campaigns, right? So that is number one. The second thing is, what do you do with that insight and how do you engage with customers in a more humanized manner? For instance, at Sprinkler today, we get thousands of inbound leads, right? And one of the biggest challenges that we faced in the past is that we had to deploy human beings to be able to respond to all of those leads. And that could take sometimes even days before we could get back to a customer. Now that leads to bad customer experience, bad word of mouth, but also poor conversions. So today we have deployed AI at scale to be able to send personalized responses to inbound leads as and when they come into our systems. And that has helped us, one, obviously improve customer experience, but also qualify, prospect, and convert leads at scale. So that has a direct business impact.
Brilliant. So AI with heart, data with direction. That's what we are decoding here. Thanks for tuning in and don't forget to follow our guests for more real talk on marketing that means business. With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, X and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.